kind of want to walk you through my thought process as I'm looking at the Pretty Grunge palette and just kind of what I'm thinking for today's look. I've done quite a few videos with this palette because again, it was my favorite from last year, but whenever I open this palette, I'm immediately drawn to this shade Rebel right here. And I'm pretty sure my first look with this palette, I like really packed this shade all over my lid. But now that I've been playing with the Icy Nude palette a lot, I feel like I'm a bit more familiar with that kind of formula in Pretty Grunge, because in Icy Nude, Diamond Dew and VVS really feel like the same formula as Rebel in here. And when I've been using these shadows recently, I just kind of take a little bit and tap it all over the lid instead of building it up really heavily like I did in the past. So I want to try that technique today using Rebel. This shade is just so pretty. There are so many different colors in here. Tap it out on my hand here and show you. It's a very shifty shade. I see like silver, a little bit of pink, a little bit of green reflect in there. It's such a cool shade. And with this shade, I think you could pair it either with the more kind of pinky, mauvier shades or even the more neutral shades on this side of the palette. That's kind of my plan today, but I want to tell you my blush combo before we get started because I love this blush combo right now and I'm like, I need to tell you right now. So I have two blushes on right now. One's a cream, one's a powder. So I first started with this Lawless blush in the shade Cheeky. Now this was the very first time I used this shade today because I was looking in my blush drawer and I just wanted something more cool toned. I'm kind of over like the warm peachy blushes in general. And normally when I want something cool toned, I would grab something kind of more like this blush. This is Gumdrop from Lawless, but this was just too bright. So when I found this shade, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This Cheeky shade just has a little bit of purple in it and it's more muted than Gumdrop and I really like how it looks. And then on top of that, I'm wearing the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in Goldy Cassis. I keep talking about this blush because it's a nice cool tone kind of purpley shade. I really do like this Essence Baked blush line. Like I don't think you'd be disappointed with any of the shades. I want to say like Pink Flush was my most used one like last year. But this is what's on my cheeks right now and I love how this blush combo looks. Okay, now let's zoom in and do an eye look. And then for my brushes today, I will be using my Sigma Favorites brush set that does have my 5 go-to eyeshadow brushes in it at a discounted price. I'm starting with the E28 from my brush set, which I like to call a fluffy packing brush, and I'm going to pick up Love Anarchy. So I picked this shade up on the flat side of my brush and I'm going to start by packing this all over my entire eyelid. So once I have most of that shadow laid down on my lid like that, I'm just going to take that brush with no additional product on it and start to blend this shade up higher towards my crease. That's why I call this my fluffy packing brush, because I can pack on shadow and blend. Now I picked up more of that same shade on the tip of my brush and I'm going to run that across my entire lower lash line. I really do love Huda Beauty's eyeshadow formula, especially these matte shades. They blend out so beautifully and so easily. I'm adding just a little bit more Love Anarchy and I'm just making sure I'm happy with the pigment of it and the placement of it in my crease right here, kind of before I blend it out even more. But I really like the soft wash of color that this shade gives. Now I'm going to switch to the E33 small fluffy blending brush from my brush set in the shade Heroin. And I'm just using a little bit of that just to soften out the edges of Love Anarchy even more. Feeling good about how that blend looks so far. Now I want to add just a little bit more depth to the outer and inner part of my eyelid. So I'm going to grab my E27 in my brush set in the shade Brave. So I have this shade on the flat side of my brush like that, and I'm going to start by adding that to the very outer part of my eyelid. And this is going to deepen things up ever so slightly. And then taking just a little bit of that Brave shade right on the inner part of my lid. And then taking more Brave on the tip of this brush and running that across my entire lower lash line. And this brush is nice and small, so it's really good at getting these smaller areas of your eye, like your lower lash line and these little outer and inner corners like we did. So now that I have all of my matte shades laid down, and now I like to go in with my shimmers. So now going into that shade Rebel, I'm just gonna lightly tap my finger into that shadow. I'm not really swiping a lot, and I'm gonna tap that on the center of my eyelid. And I kind of like to bring my shimmers up pretty high. I'm almost like above my crease right now. This kind of scattered shimmer look is so in right now, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it because I think it's really easy to do and it just looks beautiful on the eyes. Now I'm gonna go back to my E28 brush and I'm just gonna very softly blend in my crease right here just to kind of smooth anything out. Just a quick little blend. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of Maverick on my finger. I just have the smallest amount on my pinky and I'm just gonna pop that right in my inner corner. I love a sparkly inner corner, so I think that is so pretty. Now I'm gonna add just a little bit of some shadow liner. So I'm gonna take Hope on a small winged liner brush and I'm gonna stamp that across my entire top lash line. This brush isn't in my brush set, but it's my favorite brush for any kind of liner. And I just like to stamp on the shadow with small motions. I'm gonna add a nude liner to my waterline. This one's by Makeup Forever. I wanted to show you what this eye look looks like with just mascara, since this is a pretty softer eye look and I don't think you need a lash or anything. And I know that not everyone likes to wear false lashes like I do. All right, I popped on my lashes, and for my lash, I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Adorn. Now this is a very long, wispy lash. So if you have small eyes or hooded eyes, this lash will probably feel huge on you. Like, it touches my eyebrows when I look up. That doesn't bother me as much just because this lash is so wispy. I just think it adds a really nice amount of fullness, and because it's wispy, you can still see my shadow like on my eyelid kind of through the eyelash. But here's the final close-up of the eye look. All right, the full face is done. Here's what everything looks like, and I gotta say, I love my makeup today. And I think it all started with the beautiful blush shade that I started with. I'm so happy with how my blush looks right now, and I wanted to say that I also added my bareMinerals highlighting blush in Rose Glow on top. I've been using this product a lot more in place of an actual highlighter because I love the soft pink glow that this has, and it really just gives that soft glow, but it's not like super stark and in your face like a typical highlighter. And then on my lips, I kind of layered a couple different things because I bought the Milk Cosmetics and Bailey collaboration. I just bought this one lipstick from it because look at this. It's like a concealer lipstick. You're probably like, Angela, what the fuck? When I saw this lipstick, I immediately knew I wanted to try it because I've said this so many times. I'm always on the search for a perfect nude lipstick, and every lipstick pulls just very peachy on me or just too dark. And I just naturally have a lot of pigment to my lips, so I'm constantly just trying to lighten up my lips, and this is the perfect shade to do that with. So for my lip combo, I applied this Lawless lipstick in the shade Wedding Day on top. I truly do love this color. Because I'm so fair, I did want to lighten up just the center of my lips with the Milk Cosmetics. The shade is Judith. Yeah, Judith. So I popped that right in the center, blended that out with my finger, and then I added my Makeup Forever lip liner in Endless Cacao, and I just kind of lined my lips where I feel like I need it. I'm kind of realizing that I don't like the look of lining my entire lips on myself. I feel like I just look too made up that way. And so I'll just kind of add this on like the center edges of my lip, the Cupid bow, and then right here on the bottom. And then I wanted just a little bit of a gloss, so I added this Too Faced Kissing Jelly Gloss. The shade is Raspberry. I really love this lip product, and I'm so close to finishing it. Just add some hydration and a bit of shine to the lip. I had so much fun playing with this palette again today, especially trying this Rebel shade in kind of a different way than I very first tried it. I still think this is an amazing palette. I love the Huda larger palettes, and I'm so sad that they're kind of coming to an end. Icy Nude is supposedly the last larger palette. I just love the mixture of the neutral shades on this side, the more kind of purpley mauve-y tones, and then you just have some fun, gorgeous shimmers to play with as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.